Well, you don't know who it is. Little Jello Juta, right on me? Yeah, me, man. May the 13th is all about Junior George birthday bash. Listen, me, man. Say, why not Junior? And you're playing bad, girl? Yeah, me, man. This Friday, Junior George birthday bash. Get your tickets now. I, Little Jello, already in the building. Yeah, me. I see I shoot around and me. She just on the juke up all on me. Friday the 13th of me. Make sure you come out and support it. Well, I don't know it's gonna be mad. Midnight Mass. Mad.
On Friday, May 13th, Brooklyn, New York, are you ready to play a wicked mass? As Ride Along presents Midnight Mass, the Ultra Glow Fest. Everything must glow. Junior George official birthday party featuring live from Grenada for the very first time. Little Jello.
Why not Ginger?
Jello.
And you're playing bad.
Together with the Energy Kings of Soca, Looney Spark, and Electrify Live. Also coming to shell the place down, it's Mr. Lex and Denise Sosiwa Belfon. All going down inside 178 Newport Street, Brooklyn, New York. Get your early bird tickets for only $30 more at the door. Get them on Eventbrite, nightmass.eventbrite.com. And for more details, 718-701-5720. Your DJs, DJ Hot Stepper, Lil B, and DJ Spice. It's Midnight Mass, the Ultra Glow Fest. Glow sticks on entry. Wear something white. Midnight Mass inside of Brooklyn.
Well, it's on Ride Along, so it's happening here.
Came over here. What does it mean? You know, I grew up in what I guess you call a typical family.
We break all the stories, and that's just a fact. And that's why everyone has a story to tell.
Ride Along Live, I mean, yeah, it's a real deal.
Yeah. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. Some kind of lagging taking place. We're going to fix it. Guys. Kobe, drop another ad and let me fix the lagging issue. We'll be right back, guys. We'll move.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
All right. I make sure everything is sounding good. If you guys hear me fine, if everything is sounding good on your end, give me a thumbs up. I don't know. It looks kind of lagging. Let me know if you guys see me and hear me fine, guys. Let me know if you guys see me and hear me fine. Hey, Akeem, I see you. How you doing, my friend? Big up yourself. Yeah, guys. As you come and go ahead and share up the thing, because today's an important discussion. We're trying to really get some information about this incident that transpired in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a very, very sad incident involving a 2-year-old child. And on the line with me is a young man who has been on the front line of everything that happened here. His name is Daniel George. He's from the same village, Teshe, in Point 14. He's very active and was very active in the investigation, in the search to find this young man. And he's going to tell us everything we need to know about this very serious incident. If you have not yet heard about this incident, we're going to give you guys an in-depth view as to what transpired and what are some of the breaking news and information that we're just finding out just as of moments ago about this particular case right here. And then we also have Olatunji, who's going to be joining us shortly. So we have an in-depth look, guys, from the ground, on the ground, of what happened to this young man, Kimani, young 2-year-old child that was first reported missing on Monday at about 10 a.m. and was found on Tuesday about 10:35 a.m. Submerged in a river about a mile or so from the vicinity of his house. A lot of things, a lot of unanswered questions as well. So this is what we're going to be talking about right now, guys. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Renisha, how you doing? And also, guys, we are going to be reaching out and trying to seek information from the general public. We are going to be reaching out and trying to get as much information as possible from the general public. So, guys, yeah, that's why we need everybody to share up the program, right? That's why we need everybody to share up the program on what transpired. So let's bring in our guest right now. His name again is Mr. George. He was one of the individual that was on the front line of everything that transpired. Kobe, could you bring him in? See if you could bring in Mr. George.
Hi, good evening,
Right.
everyone.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. All right. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical issue on our end, but it was fixed. It was repaired. Mr. Daniel George, aka Junior Daniel George, sir, how are you doing today?
Yes, good evening to you and all of your viewers worldwide. I am okay, and how things with you?
Well, not good at all. Not good at all. After finding out what transpired and what is currently happening, it gave me a kind of sour taste in my mouth. Bring us up to speed. Take us back, Daniel. Back to Monday. I first heard of this story about half an hour after it was reported. So fill us in from that time. 10 o'clock Monday morning. What happened?
Okay, so at approximately 10 a.m., a woman would have contacted the police officers, that will be the Point 14 police station, to report that a child walked past her yard. And before I go further, let me say I am starting with the facts. Right? So this is information that was confirmed by the police in Point 14, and by the way, not much persons will know because I don't announce this. I am the president of the Point 14 Police Station Council, right? And I will contact them for direct information to verify certain things. So a matter like this, I needed to be sure, and they confirmed that the lady contacted them and they asked her to follow the child, and at a certain point, when the child made a right turn, she reached to that point a little later and didn't see the child. She was a little distance behind him. So eventually, when she reached to where he made the right turn at a T-junction, she didn't see him anymore. And she continued on the phone, right? And she continued walking in the same right turn that she took. She continued walking in that direction, looking, hoping that she will eventually see him again.
Right. So you live in that particular village, right? So you are very aware of that area.
I'm familiar with the area because that's where I grew up. Not too long ago, I moved to another community which is still close by, so that's still like a backyard for me.
Okay, all right. So let's play an excerpt from the eyewitness who last saw the child. Take a quick listen.
I was home, my husband in the room there sleeping, and I hear cooking. I was right here cooking. I have a little puppy outside, and I check on him from time to time, and I happen to go and check on him, and I watch up, and I see a little child in the road. Barely looked like he was 2 years old, pampers on, barefoot in the road, walking, and he had some kind of paper in his hand. Now, first thing I do, I went to take up a pot. I went inside, I hit my husband to get up and find myself outside. My husband say, no, it probably have a parent there. I say no, I'm not taking that for answer. I put the police on the phone one time and I went out. Where my house is, and I'm close to the road. But I still, while I'm talking to the police, I'm walking out, trying to explain to them, trying to get the child at the same time. The lady tells me follow the child. I keep going. I didn't stop. I keep walking and trying to catch the child, but the child wasn't anywhere close to me. When I first saw the child had already passed my house going. I went and I get the child one time. I tried to go as far as I could. Where I was, the child was far in front of me. He wasn't anywhere close. He was far, but I still tried to catch up and keep up to him. The road that we were on, it has a T at the end of it. It's a long stretch. It has a T at the end of it. I saw him make a right, and by the time he made the right, I was still a little ways back in the road. When I reached the right when I reached the T and I turned right, I couldn't see him anywhere, but I didn't stop. I kept going. I tried to find out. I didn't know his name. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know which child house he belonged to. I didn't know. So I just kept going. I was calling boy. I looking all over. There's a river right there. I checked both sides of the river. When I reached, I couldn't find him. I kept going. I going until I reached a little shed in a house a little ways after. They had 2 dogs there, and I didn't know they were tied. I thought they were loose, so I turned back. By that time, the police was already coming close to me. I stopped. I tell them what happened. They told me to go back home and wait, and they would go ahead and search. And by that, they couldn't find him. They came back and they told me they couldn't find him. They don't know where he gone. And I went out there again. I went out there till 3 o'clock. I tried to help them as best as I could. But it wasn't to say I was anywhere close to him. He was a far ways from me. My house is not close to the road. I have a distance to walk.
All right. Let me ask you some questions. Can I ask you some questions? Is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you overweight?
Yeah.
You're overweight and you have some little health issues, so you cannot really run. As far as I understand.
One of my feet.
Okay?
Yeah, one of my feet.
All right. So I was told that you're overweight and you have a health issue with your foot. And I was also told that they did not know the child belonged to a neighbor.
No, I'm fairly new here. I wasn't living here for long. I didn't know who the child belonged to. I just saw the child. I didn't know which house to go to, so I just called police while following the child.
All right. So that was a recollection of the neighbor that last saw the young child. Let me give you guys a map, an area of where we're talking about. And Daniel, if you could break it down for me. Explain this map in little context for me, because this was provided to us as from where the child left to where the child was found. Break down this map here for me.
Okay, so this map we are looking at at the bottom of the map is where we will start, right? So to the left is the home where the child Kamani, where he was living, and to the right is where the neighbor is living, right? So when you start to follow that red line, right,
Mm-hmm.
this is the better map, right?
Okay.
So this is the better map that will show you to the bottom left, Manny's home, and to the bottom right, the neighbor's home, the neighbor who they say was blamed, right? And then you will see the area where she cited him, which will be, if you look to walk out her gap there, right, on that same map. And
Right.
then going straight out, where you will see that first right turn, that is the right turn she is speaking about, right? And just before I continue in part of breaking down, and just for confirmation on what the lady said, the heritage workers, heritage, which was formerly known as Petrochin, which was closed down in 2018, making worldwide news, right? That is heritage now, and some workers passed the child while they were going to do some maintenance on the left hand side, that is cutting grass. And in passing the child, they looked back to see the child was alone. This is what the heritage workers said, and they saw the lady in the distance. So as she is saying that she was a distance off, is the same thing they said, right? And when you turn to that left, where the red actually, when you turn to the right, going on Filtration Road, if the viewers could make out that little writing, Filtration Road, Filtration Plant Road,
Right.
you will see another left turn which takes you straight to the end of that red point where the body was found. But just before you take that left to go where the body was found, after the last part of the word Filtration Road, you will see a brownish line, and that is the river, right? So that is the river where she would have looked on both sides of the river, right? So that is on the left, on the right hand side of this image, and
Right.
that's probably about 2/3 going down to the image. On that Filtration Road itself, you will see the brownish line, and that is actually the river. So the river she referred to, she looked on both sides, and then she continued going right where you will see the images cut off. She continued in that direction where she says she saw a house with the two dogs. I actually was a part of the search by that yard, so I know, I'm familiar with the residence the house she is speaking about.
So here is a couple questions and a couple things that from the top a lot of people saying is not adding up pretty much. Now a child is walking and she's following that child along those road right here, coming along those road right here. She said that the child walked ahead of her and she was not able to catch up with the child. Is there any video evidence to show that in fact that happened? Are there any surveillance cameras, any cameras whatsoever that picked up along any of those roads? Because I'm thinking, the child passed her so fast. You would think that the child is like 10 years old, but the child is only 2 years old.
Okay, so having a son and two daughters, and knowing the pace they would have moved at age 1, I cannot say that the child cannot move at that pace. However, because of the condition of the road, a lot of people are concerned that the road isn't a paved road, and the child was said to be bare feet. So they thought it was difficult, even with the time of day when the sun would have been extremely hot. They thought it would have been difficult for the child to get that far so quick, as well as to even want to go that far, right? So I think that is one of the reasons a lot of people are not buying into that part of it. But if the heritage workers didn't say that they actually saw the child while they were passing before they made the left turn, I myself wasn't going to believe that the child actually was on that road in the first place.
Yeah. So in all of this, from the time of reporting, from that 10 a.m. period, where was the mother and where was the father?
Okay, so I am not sure where the father was, but
Uh-huh.
from the information I received is that the mother was home.
Right. So the mother was home. And was it the mother who reported the child missing?
The lady that followed the child, the lady who we just saw in the video clip, was
Right.
the one who reported the child missing. So
So
I'm
at
not
what
sure if
point did the mother
the
know
mother.
that the child was missing? At what point did the mother know that the child was missing? A 2-year-old child, you're not seeing him around for 5 minutes. You're thinking you got to check on him. What is the mother saying about her whereabouts? I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just trying to understand the timeline.
Okay, so the mother haven't really said much to the different media houses who approached her, right?
Right.
Even I went to her and had a very few words with her, which I didn't really get a response because she was crying and she was on her phone at that time, and that was on the first day, and that was probably after 2 p.m. Right? So she didn't really say much, and I haven't gathered from anybody that she said much to them at all.
Okay, so we don't know what the mother is saying at that point in time. Tell us about the search. Tell us about the search and the rescue effort that went in, because you was a part of that. How intense was the search for this child?
Okay, when I got the call that the situation was happening, I contacted the inspector of the Point Fortin police station to verify before I put out a flyer seeking help. And as he verified and provided me with the photo, he also confirmed that a search was already in operation, so that probably wouldn't have been more than half an hour since the call. And that was both the fire officers and the police officers at that time. When I got to the location, um, eventually more responders started coming in. So we had hunters from the community, as well as we had the Hunters Association. Prior to my arrival, the disaster management unit was already there. So they received the message when I sent it on the WhatsApp group, but they were there like immediately. Usually the Point Fortin disaster management unit give rapid response to any type of emergency once they are not preoccupied dealing with another emergency. And later on, we had the defense force, that is the soldiers who came in. We also had the member of parliament who was well geared up and joined the search. We had councillors, we had the mayor, we had other persons who are activists. We had persons who left far communities. When I say far communities, like um, as far as Sangre Grande is like the extreme furthest point from Point Fortin. That will be in the northeastern direction, and we will be deep southwest. Persons from Rio Claro as well came. So the search was very intense. There were divers, professional divers, as well as other capable divers who assisted the professionals, and they searched over and over. They did multiple diving operations back to back, and I noticed they had like a rotation basis. So some divers will go in, and when they come up, our next set will take over. So I will say definitely the search was intense, and it was full of human resource at most of the times.
Right. And over the period of time, did they discover anything? Did they hear anything? Did you get any clues on what possibly may have been or might be that might lead you to rescuing that child? Did the canine unit smell anything? Smell the scent of the child? How was that?
Okay, from the point in time when I was in close distance to the canine, I would have noticed that the canine was reaching to the same corner where the child was said to make the right turn, and
Right.
that gave me the opinion that the child was no longer moving on foot. The child would have either been in a vehicle or in the arms of someone.
Right. Okay. On the line right now, we have our correspondent there, a friend of mine. He is locked on in Trinidad and Tobago. Hopefully, when I get in the feedback. Olatunji, are you hearing me? Olatunji, are you hearing me?
Hello? Yes, I am. But
yes.
Video is paused. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell you what. Call on audio and not on video. I'm just going to get your audio in. That's fine. It's probably creating a feedback. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. And also giving you guys an opportunity to call in as well. We're doing this story here and trying to seek answers to this question, and trying to find some information about what transpired with this 2-year-old child that was found dead in a river in Trinidad. Olatunji, are you there? All right, hold on. Let me bring you in. All right, yeah. You there now, my brother?
I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah. How you doing, my brother? How is everything in Trinidad right now?
I'm good. Everything is good, but sad moments, sad events in Trinidad right now.
Yeah, Tunji, explain this whole thing for me. You've been following it. I've been watching your opinion vlogs on it. I am very confused on the timeline of the situation. Break it down for us. Give us your understanding of what happened from your perspective.
Well, you confused. Everybody's confused because nothing with this situation actually makes any sense. The timelines are not adding up. People are doing one thing and coming back and saying something else. So just as confused as you are, everybody's confused the same way. This is not making sense. Nothing is not adding up. If you try to add 1 on 1, you're still getting 56. It is not adding.
Yeah. So here is one thing that it struck me as being very odd, right?
Yeah.
The child was on foot. They've reported that the child was barefooted walking that distance. How did the child get all the way over there walking on foot? Like I don't know if brother Daniel could tell us what you know about that. But do you have break down the myth for me, Daniel? Help me because you on the ground.
Well,
he's here.
By the way, greetings, Olatunji, and nice to be on a show with you, right? And if it wasn't for the heritage workers, I wasn't going to accept that the child really trotted that road, and knowing that the heritage workers, they made a left turn and they were actually doing their cutting grass on that same road to the left, right? And if they didn't see the woman afar off, then I myself would have been wondering if the child really was in the custody of the lady, right? So I still agree with Olatunji that it's so hard to add things up, but thankfully the police could have confirmed that they were on the phone with her, and the heritage workers were able to say that they really spotted her at distance off walking in the same direction towards the child.
The official report from the police said that the 2-year-old was discovered this morning, which was on Tuesday, by two volunteers 500 meter along Guapo Road off the 110th Street extension in Tiché, village of Point 14. He said Kimani Francis of the same village in Point 14 was reported missing yesterday, which was a Monday, to the Point 14 police station. An immediate search was launched to locate the child. The Deputy Commissioner of Police, AG Joan Ashe, sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, extended a heartfelt thank you to the overwhelming response from the agencies who came together in the show of support. Here is another very frustrating and confusing piece for me.
Yes.
I was told that the child had fresh Pampers on, meaning that it wasn't soil Pampers, it was fresh Pampers. Is that true? Daniel, did you hear about that, or were you witness
Well,
to
that is the information I received as well. And what is so what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So that is the information I received as well. And what is so confusing or even annoying about this whole thing with this piece of information, that is 24 hours we're talking about. So it means that at some point in time, someone would have changed the child from 10 a.m. one day to after 10 a.m. the next day, and that child is in fresh Pampers. Now, that information I received was from the persons who recovered the child, because at different points in time, we were like splitting into groups. So I wasn't in that particular group that made the recovery, but I communicated with two persons of that group who actually saw the child and indicated that that is fresh Pampers. And then one person indicated that there was fresh blood on the child, not someone who was a part of that team, but someone who was in the middle where all the information was being exchanged, where all the senior persons from the different agencies were under that tent when everyone else, including myself, had to go behind the barrier, right? Someone from that group of leaders mentioned that there was fresh blood, which I have to still believe. Well, for now, I still believe is fact because of where it came from, and I hoping that I'm not wrong. So it gives me a belief that someone really had that child alive up to after 5 a.m. when I was a part of a search just before I went home to bed. And what happened in that point in time, someone heard, like they said they heard mommy and daddy, and that was in the bush just close to that spot on your map there.
What? No, say that again. I don't understand. Somebody's
Someone heard mommy and daddy, so we went in to make a search. You see just where they found the child there on the map you showed just a while ago.
Yeah, I'll put the map back up. Yeah,
right, just up there in the bushy area. Someone heard mommy and daddy, and they alerted us, so we went in close to that said area. But at that point in time, we had an advantage, which means it was already daylight. It was after 5 a.m. But the disadvantage at that particular point, there wasn't enough human resource to make a proper search. So we went in, we came back out. I left to go home and bathe, change my coverall, and I came right back. So that is like real terrible to know that there was fresh blood and fresh Pampers.
Here is Olatunji. I don't want to suspect anyone. I'm trying to suspect anyone, right? But it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, one, that child had fresh Pampers. So who would change the child Pampers? And why would...
Well, I don't know if okay, go ahead. Yeah, I don't know if you got the news, but it had a breaking news that somebody confessed.
Right. No,
we got that
we got that. I'm gonna get to that because there are a lot of contradictory information in regarding that as well.
Yes, that is correct.
There are so much contradictory information about that. I wanted to say that for last. So, what is the narrative on the ground in Trinidad? Are people suspecting some kind of fishy game? And do you think that the parents should be investigated? I ain't accusing them, but do you think that they should be?
From initial, I've been saying, and I've been saying it from the beginning, with something like that, the first people they have to investigate is the mother. Investigate the mother, investigate the neighbor. The neighbor is the last person to see this child, follow this child, walk behind this child, grab this child, touch this child. And that person, and how the Americans do it, something like that, they're supposed to pull you in one time, not charge you, but have you in for interrogation. That's what I was hoping that would have happened, but that has not been happened as yet.
Right.
And they're not saying who's a suspect. Nobody's saying who's a suspect. Only the social media, the people on the ground saying mother is a suspect, the neighbor is a suspect, the man on the bed is a suspect. But nobody is not the PPPS is not saying they have a suspect. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
yes.
from all angles where this person who elaborating on this this journey of the child and the whereabouts and how the child turned with having a hand. I mean, first thing first, I was putting in an interrogation room and interrogate you. That is the first thing I would do as a police officer on an investigation. Right? Say, man, you're not under arrest, but we need you inside to get a statement from you because you're the only person following this child. Right?
Yeah.
And next thing too, the parent, the mother. How it is, a person can make a phone call the police, say, we don't know how the police is operate here, sometimes 45 minutes, half an hour, but the police gave a time of half an hour, stating that they went back to the house. They went to a house that the lady says she don't know about, but they went directly by the house where the child was missing, and then the woman know her child missing. That is weird. That is weird. The mother and all I was pulling in for questioning, she and all was getting questioning. So everybody know what is going on there, and somebody's not saying something.
Yeah.
That is my take on it.
Somebody asked a question there, Daniel. Daniel, go ahead. Daniel, go ahead.
I would like to interject on that, right? Ola, the parents, right? I agree that the parents should have been in for questioning even up to this moment. Now, I know there with the laws, you can't have someone detained up to a particular time, but what I'm saying, right? My son stepped out at the age 2, and my wife and I almost get heart attack, and I'm saying this live here on international broadcast, but we didn't allow it to continue, and the information on the ground, so again, now we're talking on opinion based on what I get on the ground, is that this has been a norm with this particular 2-year-old. So in my opinion, I don't see it as a mistake, I see it as negligence.
Negligence.
Right? I agree with you on that where the parent should be inside, not accusing her of any crime, but in terms of the negligence.
But what I'm saying also, if I say, yes, we know that children walk off, but a child will walk for a mile and something and not turn back. Children have natural instincts. As long as they're not seeing something wrong, they will stop, they will cry, especially if the pitch was hot.
Yeah.
Not to say the child walk on the grass or anything. A child walking on hot pitch.
Yeah.
No cry. This child is this person is saying, like, this child know where he going. You walk straight down to a T-junction, turn right. That could never make sense in anybody's head. So nothing at all distracted this child. That was my question. And children get distracted very easy.
Yeah. Even with the intervention of the canine, I sure that child, after that first writing, that child wasn't on his own anymore. Sure about that.
No, but what I'm saying is, so she followed this child. She didn't call out to the child. I mean, if you understand. So this child just walking and don't know somebody else walking behind him. You understand what I'm saying?
She claimed she claimed she didn't know the child, which I personally find it hard.
Right. Okay, yeah. Well, how could she claim that? So how the police know exactly which house to go to?
And that's why I find it hard to believe that she don't know the child at all.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just a wait and see, because I'm not taking this, me personally, I'm not taking this confession of this so-called whoever it is, I'm not taking it as 100. Something else has to come out after that.
So I'm showing a graphic on the screen again, guys. You guys familiar with that graphic? So you see the first circle. The first circle is the home where it says home. That's the kid's home. That's his home right there.
Yeah.
And on the other side is the neighbor's home. That that saw the child. So they are in close proximity. Now, do we know if they have a relationship, if they have anything, if there are any issues, if there are any problem? Again, we're not suspecting anyone, but they know each other. They live opposite side of each other. It's very evident that you can see this here.
Yep.
Are people saying that there were issues or problems or anything involving these two?
Right. From witnesses I hear, they're saying that they had some confusion between the mother and the neighbor a while ago. That is allegedly, yeah?
Right.
But what I'm saying, even though, regardless of what, if somebody sees a child, especially she identified a 2-year-old, she said, you didn't even shout out, call out somebody, hey, regardless if you and somebody have problems.
Right.
Children is always innocent. Children is always innocent in this. You could have shout out to somebody, hey, look at the child in the road, or nothing like that.
Right.
Right? So, but they did say, according to the ground, it is alleged that they had some feud between the mother and her.
Mm.
I heard the same thing on the ground.
So we're hearing on the ground, again, it's unconfirmed. We cannot confirm it, but you guys are on the ground in Trinidad and you're hearing that there was some kind of issues, possibly issues with those two.
It is alleged.
It is alleged.
Yeah.
Guys, we're talking, we're trying to find some answers for this very confusing situation right here. What happened to this young kid, 2-year-old child went missing on Monday at around 10 a.m. in Trinidad and Tobago. We showed a graphic up. He was found about a mile or so away from his home, in a river. Right. Search operation went on for 24 hours. And I have to commend the community and the people who came out and searched. I've seen that people was coming together from all over, from all other villages to come in to that area, that village in Point 14 to help search. So it was a community effort. But the child was found on Tuesday at about 10:35 dead. At this point in time, there are no confirmed person. Well, let's put it like this. Someone came out today, and that's what I want to bring it in. Someone came out today, a report came out earlier today that state that a man walked into the Point 14 police station and confessed to the killing of this child. Daniel, what do we know about this man?
Okay, so I only was alerted to that when I received the message from you that someone was live, which I started to look at the live. Then I saw the newspaper article online, right? So I contacted the senior police officer. One time, the officer confirmed that someone really came into the station and made the confession, right? In terms of whether the confession is true or false, they have to continue their investigation to find out if anyone saw this particular person in other places, to know to rule out that okay, if nobody at all saw him elsewhere where he probably is frequent, then they will say, well, okay, he probably really was in the back there with the child or not. So they have to continue their investigation before they conclude that it just might be him, right? And one of the things that was also mentioned in terms of persons who may have made confessions in the past of something that really didn't have anything to do with them. I don't know what there's getting somebody here to make a confession against themselves.
Yeah.
But that is one of the reasons why they have to continue to zoom in on that. Yes, I think they will keep him captive until the autopsy has, well, at least. And some of the information, as Ola suggested, in terms of the police not really releasing names in terms of suspects, some of the information they consider to be classified information, because if I know that I am a suspect, then I could try to cover tracks or go into hiding, right? So some of the information, the police, yes, they have suspects that they probably will not yet put out.
Right.
And if they put it out, they will have a particular way in which they will do that. And I think the public looking at it now, where I place myself as a normal citizen who just passionate about justice, I and all believe that we want answers and we want it like right away.
Before you chime in, right? Here's what I heard, and this could be far-fetched, this could be hearsay, but I heard that this particular individual has reported that he did that before. I've heard that this particular individual who came in and confessed to the crime was someone that came in and confessed to other crimes in the past.
I will have the information from that area.
He's a serial confessor. So, Ola, what do you think about this situation now? The person coming forward and confessing to this crime, and it has to be a person that is a mentally challenged person. What happens now? Investigation done. What?
Well, that answers it there. If it's a mentally challenged person and he sees the light that he is a serial confessor, then that goes without saying. But we have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, we are looking at this case here, and hopefully the investigators are combing it through as thorough as the vloggers and media practitioners are doing. The statement that came out that posted by the news there was that a man confessed to the killing of the child. A man walked into the Point 14 police station on Thursday and confessed to the killing of that child. The man who lived in the Teshe village of Point 14 did not identify the child by name or gender, and was still to give details of the alleged crime. When he walked in at 12:45 today, he also told the police that he wanted them to lock him up. The police believe that the man, who is in his 30s, is an outpatient at the psychiatric clinic. He said he was taking some particular drug. Out of the abundance of caution, they said that they immediately detained him and began their investigation. So,
okay, my thoughts on that, based on who I was told the individual is, if it's really that person, he will be about 42 because I am 41 and he's a year older than me. He has been in the past doing some videos and saying all sorts of crazy things on social media, and people are familiar with him who know that particular individual. I wouldn't say the name because I still only heard that is that person. And if it's really him, he has some sort of mental issue, and I think he needs to be well investigated before they land on that conclusion.
Yeah. We put the phone number up on the screen again, guys. I want you guys to call in on the live 718-701-5720 and just help us put this thing into perspective. If you are in Trinidad and you know anything, you've seen anything, you have any additional evidence or any information that you would like to share, you could please contact us, inbox us, or just give us a call right here on the live 718-701-5720 as we look at this case right here and just bring justice for this child, because somebody did this to this child. He didn't do it to himself. I think that is very evident. He did not do it to himself. Who did it to him, and are we going to get justice? Ola, do you think that we'll get justice in this case?
I believe so. I believe so. After they do the investigation and the interrogations, I would like to believe that they wouldn't take this person seriously for this confession. I mean, if this person have a mental history, a person who have a mental history cannot confess to anything without a lawyer present. I mean, as I saying, once they do their conclusion, they have the suspects, do the investigation, do the interrogation, and come to some sort of thing. And I believe that this child will get justice.
Yeah. Daniel, what's your thoughts? Do you think that this child will get justice based on all this craziness and that's been happening thus far?
I have the same belief. My only problem in that is that justice is never satisfying when you could no longer get back that child. So at least we will take it. If that's the least we could get, we want it. We want it soon. But it's just sad to know that no amount of jail time someone make or whatever type of punishment they get will bring that child back to us. I actually turned off my phone on Tuesday, and that's because I was getting so much call when the news was broken. I didn't turn back on my phone till midday Wednesday, just before 12 p.m., 12 noon. And that is the first time that my tears, I couldn't hold it back anymore. Right? And we like to say big man do cry. Well, not when it comes to children. That is real talk. I witnessed myself crying, and you see the whole thing about it. We could do what? We had all hope. We had all hope that we were going to find this child alive. We were hoping for the best, and that is the most heartbreaking thing, because we didn't even sleep from one night into the next morning, right? And I mean, we want justice. We will take it if we get in that, but it wouldn't be satisfying.
Yeah, and last thing that I heard, I want you guys to give me some clarification on it. The autopsy was postponed of fear of the child having COVID. Was that what happened?
From what I read, they want to do a COVID test first before they do the autopsy.
Okay.
Which I can't understand that, but they know what they're doing, I suppose.
I personally don't agree with that. I personally do not agree with that. I know that jump into a different category of conversation there, so I wouldn't go there in terms of that. But with a situation like this where somebody could be on the loose, I think every minute counts and they're wasting time.
Yeah. They're spinning top and mud. They're playing games. This look like a serious, as you say, cat and mouse.
Yeah. So what's next, guys? What's next? Go ahead, Daniel.
I personally don't believe the COVID exists. But again, as I say, that is our next topic for next time.
Okay, that is another topic. Mike King is saying that the test was positive. We don't know that to be a fact. But what we do know is that the autopsy was pushed back for a later date, pending test, right? And we're gonna try to figure out. I mean, I've never heard that before, but they probably have the reason for postponing it. Who knows, right? But all in all, guys, I don't know. I've never seen a case so frustrating to figure out, but we are going to get to the bottom of this. And it's sad that this child had to pay with his life. A young, precious 2-year-old child had to pay. I don't know. I can't understand for the life of me. Let's get some closing remarks. I'll go to you, Olatunji. Closing words before we wrap up.
Well, like to say thanks for having me on your live. Thanks for having me on your program. And thank you for the support and listening to my live. I want to extend my thanks to my other friend on the other line, saying thank you for having me also. I hope that everything works out in quick time, in double quick time, and we get some sort of justice for the parents, for the family of this child. And that's it. That's all. Let's get this done. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And Ola, tell them where they could find you, because you also do a live that I often try to follow as well.
All right, you can follow me on Let's Talk with Ola. That's my page. Let's Talk with Ola. Olatunji Bell is my name, and you'll find me there. You can follow me from there.
All right, thank you so much, my friend. We'll keep in touch. All right, any last word, Daniel?
Yeah, so I would like to say thanks for having me here, and thanks for the chat with Ola as well. And what I want to say to the viewers, all the judgments that we are making, we are all within our rights to form opinions, but before we land on conclusions, which will tie up the whole thing and cause a lot of propaganda to go out, let's try and be mindful that not everything we hear will be facts, because some of the things that people saying, people who were not even there, saying a whole lot of things, right? I am not putting it past me that any of the accused, people accusing the parents and the neighbor, I cannot say that they have absolutely nothing to do with the death of the child. I will never say that. However, thus far, we do have anything to support that, right? If it is anything was linked, then I can't see that it was directly they that committed an act, but I can't rule out that something was linked. But in coming together beyond this situation, let us have more love, because if you and I, we on this program here together today, and we spoke with each other very well and respectfully, and then tomorrow we decide to cuss out each other, and I see your child in distress, I shouldn't pretend that I don't know your child when you're living right across the road from me, and because I want to create a bacchanal with the probably mother or mother and father, I say, okay, I will call the police and put them up. The time I taken to cause that bacchanal, I could have probably prevent that child from reaching that far. Now, I'm talking based on my own emotions here now and opinion, and I believe that we lack love. We lack that togetherness that we used to have. And they used to say that it takes a community to raise a child. Let us bring back that. And to the parents who feel they should say, hey, don't tell my child what to do. No, no, no. That is part of the reason why some people will say they're minding their own business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Point well taken, my friend. Let's do more of these conversations. Not only when we have tragic situation like this, myself, yourself, and Olatunji could come and have great conversations to our audience. So appreciate your time. We should do this a little more often. All right, guys?
No problem.
Yeah, man. Thanks again. Yeah, guys. So I wanna keep the phone lines open for some of the viewers. Because again, guys, one thing we could say for certain, that someone did this to this child. We don't know who. And this is not we are not coming here to blame anyone. We can't say that it is the neighbor. We can't say that because we don't know that to be a fact. But whoever could have had the heart to do this to a little child, that person didn't grow up in a home. That person grew up in the woods somewhere. That person grew up with animals. That is not an individual. That is not a person. That is not a human being that could do this to a young, precious 5-year-old child. What possibly could a child do? What possibly could a child do to agitate any person to bring them to the point where, looking at his face, his precious little face, to do something like that to him? One thing we know for a fact is that somebody did that to him. He didn't do it to himself. And hopefully sooner than later, we're going to get all the facts to this case. And we're going to keep everyone updated as to what's transpiring. He's a beast. Yeah, 2-year-old child. We're seeing reports that the COVID test came back negative and the autopsy will be done tomorrow. So we're going to keep everyone up to date on what the autopsy reports say. All right. Condolences to the family and rest in peace to young Mannie. Thanks for watching, guys, our programming today. And thanks again to Olatunji and Daniel for joining us. Let me tell you guys, tomorrow, if you're in New York and you want to be a part of the big ride-along event, my birthday party is going to be tomorrow. So I want you guys to check it out. It's going to be in a place, 178 Newport Street in Brooklyn. Dennis Belfon is going to be there. Looney Spark and Electrify, Lil Jello, Mr. Legs, and, of course, Lil Jello. Yeah, I said Lil Jello, Mr. Legs. And a host of other artists going to be live inside. The venue is 178 Newport Street. It's my official birthday party. And as I said, for 2 years, I ain't celebrate my birthday. I say I ain't celebrating. So after 2 years, I'm finally celebrating my birthday again. I want to celebrate with you guys. So come out and celebrate with me. It's in Brooklyn, New York. If you're not going to be in Brooklyn, listen, you had enough time and all. You could have jumped on a plane and be here already. But it's not too late. I want to see you guys there. 178. Get your tickets right now at nightmass.eventbrite.com. That's nightmass.eventbrite.com. Kobe, tell them a little bit more about this event coming up tomorrow.
Well, you don't know who it is. Little Cello Juta, run me. Yeah, man. May the 13th is all about Junior George birthday bash. Listen, man. Say why not Junior? And you're playing bad girl? Yeah, man. This Friday, Junior George birthday bash. Get your tickets now. I Little Cello already in the building. Yeah, me. I see I shoot around on me. She just on the juke up all on me. Friday the 13th on me. Make sure you come out and support it. Well, I don't know it's gonna be mad. Midnight mass. Mad.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, this is tomorrow right here in Brooklyn, New York. I want to see you guys there. If you need more information and ticket, of course, you could call the number 718-701-5720. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Follow our team in the chat room. Lois JJ, our producer extraordinaire. We have Kibbs, Gail, and Deanne Fraser, and in studio with me, the man in charge, Jacoby George, handling all the boards, making sure everything goes out properly. Thank you so much, Jacoby, handling it here and team right along. See you guys tomorrow inside the big birthday party. Good night. My name is Junior George, founder and host of Ride Along Live, and I'm inviting you to become a paid subscriber to this platform. With your support of just $4.99 per month, you could do so much to help this platform grow and to help us help you and others around the world. We encourage you to click that link and become a supporter today. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
Well, it's on the Ride Along, so it's happening here.
Came over here. What does it mean? You know, I grew up in what I guess we call a typical family.
We break all the stories, and that's just a fact. And that's why everyone has a story to tell.
Ride Along Live, I mean, yeah, it's the real deal.